My name is Ryuichi Sudo. I'm a 28-year-old salesman working at a branch of the major toy company, Lovekoi Toys.
This is a wonderful product. Please let us handle it. I'm sure the children will love it.
Really? Thank you so much! Bringing dreams and smiles to many. I truly feel fulfilled in my work and have dedicated myself to it. One day, when I returned from a sales trip, my boss called out to me.
Sudo-kun, I'm sorry to ask this suddenly, but can you come to the conference room right away? The president of the company is here. He said he wants to see you.
What? The president of the main office wants to see me? Surprised by the suddenness of the situation, I hurried to the conference room. When I entered the conference room, sure enough, there was the president of Lovekoi Toys and an unfamiliar young man. Nice to meet you. My name is Ryuichi Sudo. May I ask what brings you here today? So you're Sudo-san? I've heard you're the top salesman at this branch. It's an honor to meet you. I'm Ryozo Kurosaki, the president of this company, and this... This sulking man here is my son, Akira. Hey, at least greet him properly. Hey, Come to think of it, I've heard rumors. The president's son at the main office is a notorious troublemaker. With a bad feeling in my gut, I waited for the president's next words. It's embarrassing to admit, but my son has repeatedly caused problems at the main office. As a result, we've decided to transfer him to this branch. He's sugarcoating it, but in reality, the president could no longer cover for him and had him demoted. And so, I was hoping you, as the top salesman at this branch, could take him under your wing. I've heard many great things about you at the main office, Sudo-san. I fully understand that this is a huge burden for you, but could you please take on this request? Oh, of course, I'll do my best. There is no way I can refuse a direct request from the president. He understands that and feels guilty about it. Which is why he's asking so politely even to an employee like me. Thank you. Please take care of my useless son. Tch, treating me like some kind of curse. Hearing Akira Kurosaki's grumble, I couldn't hide my anxiety and frowned. After showing him around the company, I introduced Akira to a female colleague.
Nice to meet you. I'm Alice Sekioka from the sales team. Looking forward to working with you.
She's Alice Sekioka, one of my subordinates and an excellent sales rep.
Akira-kun, how have your sales been? Any strengths or weaknesses?
Not really. I only got in because of my dad's connections. I'm not interested in toys. I can't make stuff, but desk work is a pain, so I'm doing sales.
Oh, I see.
Alice's face stiffened, and seeing that made me want to bury my head in my hands. His first impression is terrible. This doesn't bode well. So, why don't we start by introducing you to the product we are currently selling? With that, I laid out several stuffed toys on the table. Stuffed toys? You can find these anywhere. How do you plan to sell them? These aren't just stuffed toys. When you pressed here, I pressed the switch on the back, and the stuffed toy began to move on its own.
Hello, I'm your friend made by Lovekoi Toys. I'm Love Tomo. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it talks. But stuff like this has been around for a while, right?
It doesn't just talk. It is AI developed in collaboration with a major IT company. Isn't that amazing?
Love Tomo, this is Akira Kurosaki. He's gonna be part of our team from today.
Hello, Akira-kun. I'm happy to be your friend. Looking forward to working with you.
But the words that came out of Akira's mouth were mocking. Heh, what a joke. AI or not, it's just a toy for kids to play house with, right?
What? How can you say that as a toy company employee?
Akira-kun, everyone worked so hard to create and sell this, so you shouldn't talk like that. Heh, poor people must really struggle with their jobs.
Hey, how dare you say something like that? Just because because you're the president's son doesn't mean you can...
Well, let's calm down, Sekioka-san. Anyway, Akira-kun, you'll be selling this product with us. You'll be going with either me or Sekioka-san for support. Sure, whatever. Akira replied with a smirk, while Sekioka-san glared at him with clear disapproval. There is no doubt that, in just a few minutes, Akira-kun's evaluation in Sekioka-san's mind has plummeted to rock bottom. But Akira-kun's rampage was only just beginning. A few days later, we were supposed to meet in front of a client's building, but Akira-kun was nowhere to be seen. Overslept? When can you get here? Sorry. I just woke up. So I'll be there in an hour. The meeting will be over by then. Then I'll just take half a day off. I'll come to the office in the afternoon, so see you later. Another time, during a sales call, Akira did something so out of line that we were left speechless. Oops, sorry, I forgot the materials.
What? Akira-kun, you said you'd bring the materials, so I handed them to you.
Yeah, but I forgot them. You remember the content, right? You can handle it.
You little...
But we couldn't argue in front of the client, so Sekioka-san continued the sales pitch without the materials.
And that concludes the introduction of Love Tomo's features.
It sounds interesting, but it feels like there are already similar products. How do you differentiate it? Toys are all the same. As long as the stuffed toy says something cute, kids will be happy, right?
What? Stop talking!
Of course, we didn't manage to secure a contract with that company. Another day, Akira-kun had a stomachache, so we decided to return to the office separately after a sales call. But he never came back. Worried, I went out to look for him. He's not answering his phone. Could he have gotten into an accident on his way back? Or maybe his condition suddenly worsened? With these thoughts in mind, I stopped by a park near the client's building. What? Akira-kun? He was sleeping on a park bench. I slumped my shoulders in defeat. No wonder he got demoted. Where should I even start?
Chief Pseudo, I seriously can't stand that guy anymore. I can't go on sales calls with him.
Sekioka-san, who can usually befriend anyone, was furious in less than a month. I understand. I'll have Akira-kun work with me for a while.
But honestly, I don't want that either. Someone like him doesn't deserve to go on sales calls with you, Chief Pseudo. Just because he's the president's son, why do we have to put up with this? Chief Pseudo, you said it, didn't you? I want to bring toys to the world that can save people. When I heard that, I was moved by your passion. That's why I respect you more than anyone else. But seeing you suffer because of someone like him, I just can't accept it.
Sekioka-san, thank you, but I'll be fine. I won't give up on Akira-kun. I'll try other approaches. Sorry for causing trouble.
No, you don't have to apologize, Chief Pseudo.
But I couldn't think of any solutions and was at my wit's end when one day, President Kurasaki called me. Thank you for everything, Pseudo-san. How has my son been doing since then? Well... I reported Akira-kun's recent behavior. The president sighed deeply and spoke apologetically. So he still hasn't reformed. I'm truly sorry for the trouble. No, I'm sorry I couldn't meet your expectations. If he causes any more trouble, I'll have no choice but to fire him. Wait, you seem to care a lot about your son. Is there a reason for that? I asked, and the president pondered for a moment before speaking slowly. Akira wasn't always such a selfish child, but because of me. Could you tell me what happened? When I asked, the president began to recount Akira-kun's life. About 20 years ago, I got divorced and I have been single ever since, working tirelessly to raise Akira. I thought I was fulfilling my duty as a parent, but I underestimated Akira's loneliness. He was always a patient child and never complained about the changes in his environment. Separated from his mother and neglected by his workaholic father. It was my mother who filled the void in Akira's loneliness. However, due to my work, we had to move far away just before Akira entered high school. After that, they barely had a chance to see each other, and they ended up parting ways without saying goodbye. Grandma, I couldn't even see you one last time. I left you alone for so long. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sure he's been harboring feelings of loneliness and rebellion against me for a long time. I finally realized that and try to make up for lost time, but I'm ashamed to admit that after dedicating my life to work, I didn't know how to connect with my son. By the time he realized it, it was too late. His resentment towards his father had grown, turning him into the self-destructive person he is now. Loneliness from childhood. But I could understand those feelings too. Speaking of which, the next sales destination is... President Kurosaki, may I ask about Akira's relationship with his grandmother? A few days later, Akira-kun and I were on our way to a facility for a sales call. Where are we going today? Another kindergarten? No, we're going here. What? A nursing home? Yes, this is today's sales destination. But aren't toys for kids? What use would old people have for them? His lifeless eyes suddenly widened in surprise, and I pushed Akira-kun forward, thinking I would hit the mark. Surprisingly, that's not always the case. Come on, you'll understand once we get inside. And an hour later, Akira-kun was shocked to see the elderly people actually using Love Tomo.
Kazuko-san, you're good at cooking. I'd love to try Masayo-san's cooking sometime. Oh my, what a polite little one.
This little guy recognizes you as an individual and will grow to be the perfect partner as you continue to interact.
Wow, stuffed animals these days are amazing.
The elderly playing with Love Tomo were all having a great time. Seeing the elderly people like that, Akira-kun seemed confused and incredulous. Unbelievable. Old folks playing with a stuffed animal? Akira-kun, I believe that the essence of our job is to connect with the hearts of our customers. Their hearts? You see, I lost my mother in an accident. Huh? What saved me during that time was a single robot. Hey, where do people go when they die? How can I see my mom again? The robot couldn't give me an answer, and that made me a little sad, but it felt like it was gently listening to my words, and that really saved me. I couldn't talk to my friends about the grief I felt, and I didn't want to trouble my family, so I kept it to myself. Having that little robot with me helped me stand up again. That's why I wanted to bring toys into the world that could save someone, just like that robot saved me. That's why I took this job. But that's not just a story for kids. As society ages, more and more elderly people are losing their partners or living far away from their families. And for working people like us too, loneliness is an issue that affects everyone in this day and age. Loneliness. Come to think of it, Grandma called me just once after I moved away. As I spoke, Akira-kun seemed to be reminiscing about his childhood and his grandmother.
Akira, how have you been? Are you eating well?
I'm fine. What about you, Grandma? You called all of a sudden. Could it be that you miss me?
No, I'm fine. You must be busy with practice and everything, right? Don't worry about me.
Looking back, Grandma must have been lonely, but she was pretending to be strong so she wouldn't bother me. As Akira-kun remembered, he gazed intently at the scene before him. Noticing his change, I couldn't help but smile quietly. Why don't you try talking to them? He stared for a while, but after a deep breath, he slowly walked over. So, how is it? Is it fun?
Yes, it's more fun than I expected. It's soothing.
But it's a machine, right? It's not a living thing. You could just chat with someone else.
Not everyone in a nursing home is close, you know. And there are some things that are hard to talk about with other people. But with this little guy, I can chat freely without worrying about that. Did you make this? It's amazing. This is a wonderful product. I'm glad you brought it.
Thank you. The words slipped out of his mouth in a voice gentler than I had ever heard from Akira-kun before. That was a nice smile. No, it's not like that. I'll go around and ask others what they think too. I'm sure he can change. That's what I was convinced of. That night, after everyone had left, Akira-kun was working late in the office. Well, to be precise, he was talking to Love Tomo. I can't remember the last time someone thanked me. I've always felt like no one needed me. But if I keep doing this job, maybe someday I can touch someone's heart, save someone like I was, like Grandma was?
Of course you can. Akira-kun, you can do it. Believe in yourself.
What do you know? You're just an AI. What do you know about me?
Then tell me about yourself. I want to know more about you, Akira-kun. Is there something on your mind?
Something on my mind? Akira-kun muttered, then spoke softly. Can I become a decent person? Like my dad and Sudo-san, someone who's needed by others.
Of course you can. I want to see that happen too. I'll be by your side, as your friend.
I couldn't tell how Akira-kun took those words, as I was only watching from the shadows. But the next day... Sekioka-san, I'm sorry for causing you trouble the other day. From now on, I'll take this job seriously. As soon as he arrived at work, Akira-kun apologized to Sekioka-san.
What's gotten into you? Well, okay then. Just so you know, I'm not as nice as Chief Suda, okay? I'm going to work you hard.
Yes, I'm ready to learn from you. It was a completely different Akira-kun from before. Seeing their exchange, I knew he would be okay, and I smiled. A few days later, Akira-kun and I were negotiating with the manager of the nursing home. And that concludes our explanation of Love Tomo. Do you have any questions?
The feedback from the residents was quite positive, but it's just that, in the end, it's still a machine, right? I'm not sure why this has to be the solution. Isn't it best for people to talk to other people?
Kurashiki will explain that. What? What? I'm not good at sales pitches. That's okay. I would like you to explain the appeal of Love Tomo in your own words. Akira-kun thought for a few seconds before continuing, quietly but firmly. If you say that, it might be a burden to the other person. Saying that is embarrassing. They might think you're pathetic. The thought of that scares you, so you hold back. And before you know it, you might not get the chance to say goodbye. That's why you need someone who can take on that loneliness that you can't tell anyone else about. I think it's because Love Koi is a machine that it can provide that kind of comfort. That's probably what last night was for him. With his high pride, he couldn't talk about it with me or the president. I'm confident that our product can fulfill that role. So, please consider it positively. Akira-kun bowed his head. There was no trace of the irresponsible person he used to be. As a result, his words helped secure a successful contract with the nursing home. Since then, Akira-kun has completely changed, working seriously and diligently. He even comes to me, asking how he can improve his sales skills. Now, he's recognized by everyone as a valuable employee. After that, President Kurasaki and Akira-kun had a heart-to-heart and reconciled. Dad, I've caused you a lot of trouble, but I finally realized how foolish I've been. So, for everything I've done, I'm truly sorry. No, I'm the one who should have been there for you as a parent. It's my shortcomings that caused all this. I'm sorry for everything. Watching them finally connect heart to heart, there was a gentle presence observing.
Both of you have finally become honest with each other. Akira, I was never lonely as long as you were living happily. Thank you.
Whether or not they knew of this wish, the two of them now seem to be close, often going out for drinks after work. Meanwhile, responding to Akira-kun's newfound determination, Love Tomo's sales have steadily increased. Now, it's almost always me, Sekioka-san, and Akira-kun who dominate the top sales rankings. At this rate, I might even surpass your sales, Sekioka-san.
Huh? You've got a decade before you can beat me. I'm not losing to you.
Maybe one day, I'll be overtaken too.
I'll be ready when that day comes.
Chief Pseudo, let's go on more sales calls together. Oh, and let's grab a drink tonight.
Hold on, no way. I've already booked Chief Pseudo. It's just the two of us tonight, so don't get in the way.
Come on, don't be stingy. Chief Pseudo, you're coming with me, right? The time to say goodbye to a loved one will inevitably come. The emptiness left behind can't be easily filled. But if you don't give up, you'll surely find something that understands your feelings, that embraces them, and fills that loneliness. Sometimes it's a human, sometimes a machine, sometimes a stranger you've never met. Do you have something that fills the emptiness in your heart?